Hey guys, welcome to Ryan Speaks Geek. We're going to talk a little bit about display options and things I've been using in my displays. I've been having a real problem of late. It's a very middle class and very nerdy type problem, but it's about my displays. I had all my figures on these type of plinths for ages, just loads and loads and loads, all of them across the cabinet. But you know when it's just you're looking at something, you go, oh, this isn't bringing some excitement to it. It's cool seeing them all together and trying to group them, but I was like, it doesn't have much life. And I am one of those people that, even being a grown adult, I still like to sort of play with my toys and I feel like it's a bit of alive, create stories and things. So I've been trying to do something a bit different. I'm trying to make diorama sections in my displays, and I've been sort of finding different ways and different things I've been picking up that can sort of help with that. So one of the first problems I had was lighting. So in these cabinets I got this one at a charity shop. It's all glass down the middle and it's just got one light in the top. So the problem is, the minute I get anything in the other shelves, the light's gone. And same with these ones here, which is my mum and dad's old crystalware cabinet, but I've always loved it. I've actually got it now and it's full of Star Wars. Don't worry, my mum approved of that because my mum loves Star Wars as much as I do. She loves it, but the lights are in the top because obviously it's meant to be all glassware in it, so the light travels all the way down. Problem is, when you start putting displays rather than those see-through steps, the light doesn't travel down. So I'm like, what do I do? And I've also got a few shelves on a bookshelf, solid wood bookshelf, that obviously I have to have lights in it somehow, because I didn't go for white shelves back in the day because I never thought I'd be using them for Star Wars figure displays. So again, the light just disappears and it's dusky and murky and everything. So what do you do? What do you do? So I've been sort of thinking of different ways, and originally I had, as you can see in this little clip here, Christmas lights. I got really cheap battery operated ones and I just taped them to the top of the shelves, and it looked cool and it brought the thing into life when I put them on the semi-flash mode, but it wasn't really sustainable and the tape kept coming down because it's not that type of wood. So I started looking for alternatives for that. And I found a really good one that I've been using. I've literally just started using, and it's these bars I got from Amazon. Now, this isn't I'm going to shove an affiliate link in the bottom. No, I just found these online because a friend of mine, Jamie Meikle, he had them just in his house, and I suddenly was like, these are actually pretty cool, because what they do is they're rechargeable for a start, because I just can't keep changing batteries. It's not very cost effective, it's not environmentally friendly, etc, etc. These recharge, but the way they work is they've got these sticky magnet plates. So you just literally stick them on top of, up on something or down on something, and then they'll stay. And then when you want to recharge it, you just pull it down off, because then you can recharge it and then put it back. It's got a sensor on it so you can change it. But one of the things I really like about this one, sorry, I just is that you can change the sort of brightness there, but then you can change the temperature. So I can go for the white, so proper white light, warm lights. So I can really cycle through them, but the warm ones are good because I'm trying to do things like Tatooine, and I'm just enjoying the different lighting, sitting there, strike a pose, or a really budget lightsaber. This has been really cool. I've been really enjoying this, and the good thing is, because of the type of sticky pads that are on it, it seems to stick to most surfaces. So I've had great joy putting it on the glass shelf at the bottom here. So I'll put a picture up here so it's easy to see. So the glass shelf to bring Tatooine alive, and then you've got the so I've used the warm light setting on there, and then also I've done it for Hoth. I've used the white setting, the brighter white, and as you can see, it's really effective. So they weren't that much money, so I think I'm going to go with this going forward and pick up a few more. I've already started on the Jabba's Palace thing. I haven't put all the figures back in yet. That's a whole other saga that's going to happen. You can also get these little lights that are for flowers, for bouquets and weddings and things, which have a little tab you can pull out and in. So I'm going to probably use that for for example, my Darth Vader / Luke Skywalker in Bacta tanks from the next 17. But I've seen someone else do something really cool, which is they've used this kind of acetate to make it all blue. Dabba-dee-dabba-die. There's the screen of me recording. They've cut this perfectly and they've wrapped that inside as well, which really gives it another look. So I might try that approach. just to bring a bit more sort of depth to it and add some like the red and the light to the Darth Vader one. I think could be really sort of a big impact. So that would be one of my next things I do. The Darth Vader is in here currently. The other thing is like, if I'm changing up the shelves, what can I do playset wise, so diorama wise? So we have got things like, this is Moff Gideon's hallway on the bottom here from Hasbro. So yes, it's modern, but it's really effective. It's a really cool hallway. I'm really hoping for like a Death Star corridor version soon. I think that's more likely than a HasLab Death Star, because that would be the size of this cabinet, and I ain't got room for that. But I have got room for that hallway segment set. You know, that could be really cool for Death Star. Really cool, just saying, if you're listening, Hasbro. But, you know, the Tantive hallway, for example, really effective with vintage figures, you know, or retro style. Yes, they have their own floors, but if you've got a bit like me, like a bigger floor space than what's there, and you don't want the cabinet to show, I've not been putting the floors in some of them, and I've just been using just really cheap coloured paper that you can get from, so I've been getting them from Hobbycraft. Guys, just to quickly interrupt, if you could do a little like and a subscribe if you are enjoying this, or even if you're not, I would appreciate it. It takes a couple of seconds. Back to the video. These are just solid card, and they're like 40p a sheet, if that, from Hobbycraft. But they add a real bit of depth to the world that you've created. So in this picture here, you can see, which is down there, my Tatooine setup, and I've done that behind the Land of the Jawas set, play set, and also you've got the Streets of Mos Eisley Cantina. This is Replicator Boxes version before Hasbro announced theirs. I don't have the money for original one, but that really brings it alive, because just having that blue behind it just makes that whole space feel more like it's that area, that, you know, rather than suddenly seeing like lovely veneer wood and carved bits. So even little things like that can make a big impact, I think, with my displays. Here, you'll see there's some very kind of imperial looking triangle, white, black type design. I got these from the pound shop. These are actually, these are for bathroom tiles. Like if you want to change your bathroom tiles, but you don't want to retile it, you stick them over the top. So I did is took off the top layer and kept the back layer on and then stuck them in. But it's got a really good look to it. It adds to the Empire sort of style of things. And going back to those lights, actually, as you can see in this picture, this is where I've added the lights behind some of the features of the Hasbro set, which I think were designed for if you did want to put your lights in. So you can see it's really effective. So that's one way of doing it, you know, to bring some life to the displays. The other way is sort of the accessories and things that are in it, like the little bits that build the world and whatever. So there's several different companies I've used. Trash Compactor is my number one go-to. I absolutely love Trash Compactor. For example, even things like background characters, maybe even to fill out a diorama. So things like the unmade R1G4 droid that has Canon never got around to making. He's made one, painted up. It really adds some life to the background. Then you got like people like the Next 17s I've mentioned, who do all sorts of figures. So like lots of the Cantina aliens and things, really brings life to it. Like somewhere like Bespin, for example, I've only got a small setup because it's a little small area of the story for what I'm making. But you've got figures like, you know, Wilro Hood, for example. So rather than it just being Bespin guards and Ugnaughts, actually you can sit there and you can get these figures to sort of build out a few more characters in the world. Now with the Bespin one, interestingly, you know, you've got Ugnaughts, for example. If you go on eBay for like £2 or £3, people are making different colour aprons for their Ugnaughts. So you can do that, expand your characters that way. Maybe just change some of the accessories on some of those background characters is enough. A bit like with Rebels, where you get the same character models just painted differently. Or like an old 80s Transformers episode where it's like, it's Ironhide, but he's like fluorescent purple and orange or something, I don't know. You know, that kind of thing, you know, you just add background bots. Again, that's a use of the card stock there. I've also been using some backgrounds from the Next 17, who does some card packs. Again, go and check those out. It means I've just got some more for like the Bespin always. There's one on one side, and then it's like the Falcon on the other. And then you got things like the Death Star panels and that. So these are really cool and really affordable, and they're just really impactful, especially if you're doing a small display. They work really good on that. These sort of these L-shaped arena pieces. Do you remember these? Quite easy to pick up. They work really well, and I actually used this for my Cantina for a while. So yeah, really cool. But using those backdrops from the Next 17. Then you've got things like Ian Butler 3D Designs, and you've got all the little creatures and things. These are things I picked up at Echo Live recently. So you've got the little creatures that you can get. There's people like Legion's Gifts, which is like another eBay store I go to sometimes. I've picked up a few barrels and things. I also use all sorts of random bits sometimes. So like in my Death Star display, this sort of very Star Warsy looking container is actually, the party poppers where you go like, doo. It's one of those. I just took all the wrapper off and I realised that works, and it adds just like something for people to hold or to be in the background. Then again, companies Next 17 wise have got things like the crates that we see everywhere in Star Wars, and the ice cream maker, which can be held. Bits like that add something. They've got, at the moment, they've got different snakes for Dagobah. So that's a really cool thing. All the different snakes if you want to fill out your Dagobah playset a bit. Now, the Dagobah playset, for example, is an interesting challenge in regards to display. Because my biggest gripe with it is, not gripe because it's a fantastic playset, but I wish it opened up like Castle Grayskull. Where you could make it flat or something like that. But at the moment, so I'll lift it very carefully because I've got a few figures balancing on it, but here it is at the moment. I've just got it sat on the side now. It was in the cabinet, but again, I was losing over half a shelf this way because I was showing off this bit. And I kind of want to see the whole thing. So what I've got coming soon a little rotating jewellery display stand, and I'm just going to put a little base on my Dagobah playset, and I'm going to have it slowly rotate. Because I think that'd be really cool. I can then see like the Darth Vader Luke battle on one side, a bit of Dagobah training, R2 in the swamp. It will continuously rotate and it will just bring some life to it, and it means I get to appreciate the entire playset. That's my plan with that. So I think I've covered most things, but one of the other things I wanted to cover was like old school playsets. We talked about Hasbro playsets, but you got people like Palitoy. Palitoys do like these amazing sort of retro sort of Palitoy type things. His name is Lee. Palitoy the company. See what he did there? These are fantastic. I absolutely love these, and these can add a real bit of life to it as well, especially considering a lot of the drawings and the images on the actual playsets have been lifted from things from Star Wars history, so like old scratch and play sets or stickers. Just lent on a button, that's why you can hear Darth Vader breathing in the background. I'm not going to suddenly be like murdered by Darth Vader, but so that adds a lot. So I really appreciate those. I do still use the Perspex stands. The AT-AT, for example, it's a little bit loose of legs. I've played with this to death since I was a kid. So I've got one of the tall ones, the long ones, but I've got it upwards just to sit underneath it to keep it from tipping over. Then you got places like this. So this one up here where I've got a lot of my mini rigs on, this is from Cardboard Galaxy. So this was one that's meant for figures, but I repurposed it because I actually managed to get the Death Star space station set. I was like, well, I'll tell you what would be a cool use for that, as I don't really have anywhere to put my mini rigs. So that, in its own right, because it's got those Star Wars aesthetics, it looks like the Kenner stickers and backdrops, it works really well for that. So I think that's another key stand. And then you also like stands, so like the Slave One, for example, as an eBay store I used, cannot remember its name, I'm so sorry. But if you message me, I'll send you a link to it from my purchase history. But that allows the Slave One to stand upright, which is really cool. And I want to do that with the B-Wing. I'm going to have that stood over this way, I think, but like on a vertical stand, because it's one of my favourite ships since I was a kid. And I want to find a way of, reusing it. I think display stands really help, and it helps with things like, so the land speeder, for example, I've got that sort of floating around, literally floating around, because I found the company called Invisistands, and it's just like this very cleverly cut piece of triangle plastic sits underneath. But from most angles, it looks like the land speeder is just levitating. Some people do like the Star action figure stands, not Star action figure, the Star action stands, which are really good if you want to get something like, for example, my stand Solo Ula. I want her to be dancing to come alive in the set, rather than just like, I am also here. So by doing the stand, it allows, when I've got her in the playset, she actually does stand up like this because of that. So sometimes, even though I don't always use stands on my figures, I will use them on some if I want to put them in a particular pose. Or they've just got dainty feet and they're more likely to fall over. So yeah, they're just some of the things I've done over the last few weeks, really, about trying to bring some life into my collection, to sort of bring the story alive. Because that's why I collect, and why I got all this stuff, is because I want to bring my collection alive, So yeah, look out for bits of cardboard that you think that could be cool, little random objects, things, bits, bobs, greebles. Add them to your play sets, bring it alive. I found a bit of chain from an old necklace I had when I was, like proper like old school grebo, like emo style type thing, when I was younger. And I was like, well, I'm never going to wear that again, so I've used the chain in my Jabba's Palace, and it works really well. So I've gone from "Where are you?" to "There you are" in my playset, and I'm using the cardboard 90s Kenner Jabba's Palace. Works really well because it's really big. It's the perfect length for the shelf as well, mixed with the Hasbro Jabba's Dungeon bit with the Han carbonite block. So polystyrene works great for Hoth, as you know, and as you can see, it's endless. So let me know what you do with your displays. What are some things that you've done? I'm welcome to suggestions. I love hearing ideas. I love seeing ideas. Star Wars Play World, for example, fantastic group. Do go and check that out. The displays they do at Echo Live every year, phenomenal. They did the whole of like Tatooine, like the cantina and the, oh man, just it was beautiful. But I love that. Bring the story alive. So, and it sort of ties in with mine and Dave's show, 375 Alive. So I'll keep you posted on what I'm doing. I just thought I haven't done an actual video for a while, just me talking to you. So yeah, I thought I'd let you know what I've been up to and what I'm doing. So I will do this and see if I can shed some light on the collection. Special thanks to Joby1 who made this amazing backing track for me. Absolute hero. Please do check him out. Awesome stuff. Awesome Black Series reviews. Just an all-round awesome guy. Please do check him out.